It took a lot of therapy. First, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, vision therapy, vestibular therapy. Should we list them all?
Pronunciation, speech,
cognitive,
occupational,
occupational, and psychotherapy, talk therapy.
Woo!
Yeah. Once I reached a physical stable point, then the emotional stuff needed to get released. And that's where I was able to think, this is what I'd like to do.
Almost dying taught me how to live. Being struck by a car left me in a 3.5-week coma with 15 broken bones and 16 surgeries to complete, including brain surgery. However, I woke up from that coma in an even greater place than I ever foresaw for myself. How? The universe will guide you out of the darkness and into the light if you allow it. Often, spirituality comes off as too highbrow. I'm not about that. Welcome to the podcast that talks and teaches about it through the lens of humor. Together, we'll harness positive energy and use it to work with the universe, all while giggling the entire time. Welcome to Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. This is an episode that it's been like a year in the making. This is Stephanie Ang. We met at a Love Your Brain retreat in March 2024. And Stephanie, the reason why I held off on recording this one is because I wanted to wait for Stephanie to come to LA. Because of course, remote recording is always an option. But this is content that deserves to be spoken about in person because oh my God, we're kind of like doing a very, very similar thing. So Stephanie recently started her own business, SGA Coaching and Consulting. And what SGA Coaching and Consulting is it's coaching for people, brain injury survivors, but really anyone that's just gone through trauma and is navigating a major life transition. You use empathy to connect with people, which is absolutely beautiful. You provide people with motivation. You give all your clients a reframe of whatever it is they're going through, and you find a way to explore what they still have or what they have maybe even gained from their brain injury, rather than focusing on what they have lost, to create a new purpose and find what life works for them, which is what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. That's what Gabriella Rebranded is. So I'm very excited to have this conversation with you.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me on your amazing podcast.
Thank you.
And that lovely introduction.
Of course. Thank you for making time for me on a short trip. Before we get into the entire conversation, just tell everyone what SGA coaching is.
Yeah. SGA Coaching and Consulting, that comes from my initials, by the way, Stephanie Grace Ang. It offers people living with brain injury or other disabilities the space for self-exploration. It's trauma-informed coaching, which means I'm going to ask my clients questions to get them to unlock insights and build their own goals that fit for their needs now and take action on those goals.
Now, I know that before you had your whole experience with your accident, you spent 20 years in industrial and occupational, right?
Organizational.
Industrial,
it's a mouthful.
Industrial and organizational psychology. You have a master's degree. So it's a slight blend of what you were doing before you got hurt, but it's different. What were you doing exactly before you got hurt?
Yeah, before I got hurt, I was working in employee training and development.
Okay.
So designing, developing, and delivering training for anything from new high orientation to skills development, like presentation skills, technical things. At least we would, get vendors for that, up to management and leadership development. So everything involved in growing people's skills, professional development, and that was really rewarding for me.
Okay, so you're still you're not doing that exact thing, but you're still growing people. Now it's focused on disabilities and learning to live with your disability.
Yeah, it's like a pivot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a pivot. I've pivoted largely too. So believe me, I 100% get that. So you had your injury. You had studied all this psychology, you were working in employee training and growth and development. Then when did you get the idea for SGA coaching after your injury? And how did you decide that you wanted to do this and not go back to the same thing you were doing before your injury?
So, work has actually been top of mind for me my whole life, just my family being very work oriented and my accident happening at work. So, it's just like ever present. And I felt like the goal of recovery from brain injury was to get back to work. That makes me worth it, you know? But as I started to look for jobs, going through the job search process was so taxing. It really provoked so many symptoms. And going through the interview process was just really hard. And I'm like, how am I going to work a regular job?
Yeah.
And a lot of self introspection there, where I was actually leading myself through some of the exercises that I would do in career coaching. What really sparked joy for me, and I felt like so much passion and enthusiasm around, was meeting people with brain injuries and helping them decide what to do, or like just helping them manage their symptoms based off of my experience. And of course, knowing everyone is different.
Yeah.
But like, here's what worked. Maybe you can try. These are some resources, etc. Do what you need. And I just kind of lit up doing that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people noticed in my family and friends, and they're like, maybe you should like consider doing this. So that prompted getting vocational services through a state service in New York called Access VR. And I went through some vocational counseling, which was a good like sample for myself. Just being honest. Yeah. And designing, like, this is what I need to do. I need to do coaching. I need to help people figure out what's next for them. But like in their own way, on their own terms.
Yeah, I really, really relate to that because when I also wanted to get back to doing what I was doing. Whenever I remember when I got hurt, it was like, when can I go back to LA? When can I start acting again? When can I go back to LA? When can I start acting again? That was top of mind. And then I came and I did it and I was like, this actually is causing me a lot of stress and it's not making me happy. And what does make me happy is meeting other survivors and talking and validating and like uniting. So I very get that.
No, totally. And I think it builds a sense of community and purpose between us, our clients or friends that we work with, anybody. And yeah, I learned recently that like 70% of people after a concussion changed their job. Like, it wasn't working for them either physically or emotionally anymore.
I think it's both, because I think there is a heavy part of that you associate with the old you, where you're like, that was Gabby's dream. And I mean, sorry, I was just speaking to myself because I resonate so much. But you think that's your old you's dream. And you're like, but that's not the current me's dream. And then it is the unfortunate reality that, like, I don't know about you, but I personally cannot work a 9 to 5. I cannot be on for that long. So it's just not realistic for me.
Yeah. I mean, and 9 to 5, and a lot of companies want more than that for not even necessarily any more pay.
Yeah.
And if the culture is, I stay till the work is done, or I stay till my boss leaves, how am I supposed to handle that?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about this, I'm sure, but like, how did I end up designing the work environment that would help me?
Yeah. And that is the benefit of owning your own business, is that you can create the work environment that benefits you. Now, with owning your own business, I know 1,000,001 people told me to not do this. They said, don't stress yourself out even more. Owning your own business is so hard. They wanted to know why I was creating more work for myself by putting all this on my plate. Did you get the same feedback from anyone in your life saying the same thing?
Yes, and mostly it was from me.
Okay.
Okay. I lost so much confidence in the 10 plus years that I was not working, that I was struggling with symptoms on a daily basis, and also having to think about my symptoms all the time, because I have to report them to various insurance agencies and exams and all this stuff. So it's like, I got to keep a log of how much pain I'm in. So that was just bringing my mentality down of like, how could I possibly do this?
Yeah. Like every day, that was probably really hard because every day you're writing down your symptoms. So every day you're looking at this big, long list of all the obstacles you have. And you're like, and I'm trying to start my own business and look at this.
Yeah, exactly. And I also saw business ownership as nonstop work and so much responsibility. I actually have about like 20 family members across 4 generations who are small business owners or working for
Okay.
themselves.
All right.
And so the model that I've seen is just putting everything into business and working. And so people are tired, they're burnt out, but they also need to keep working. They don't have time for socialization or family and whatnot. So I really did not want to start my own business.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want that responsibility. I wanted the stability and structure of a regular job.
Yeah.
I wanted health insurance. But as we talked about, this really wasn't going to be realistic.
Yeah. In some ways, you think the stability and the structure of like a job, like a just I'm employed job makes life easier. But then the reality that a lot of us have to confront is that it's not realistic. Like it's not realistic that I'm gonna be able to clock in to work every day. Like sometimes I wake up, I still have days where I wake up and I'm so exhausted. And I don't know why, but I do
You
know
do and you
why.
don't.
I do
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
And I'm like, I can't move today. It's That's our life, unfortunately. Now, we owning your business hard. Why did you decide? What are the perks of owning your own business that you were like, I think this is what I actually need to do?
Yeah. So I got 4 F words for this.
Okay, 4 F words.
So full ownership, flexibility and freedom, and finances.
Okay.
Yeah. So full ownership, it's all up to me. I can do whatever I want. I can work when I want. I can work with whom I want to work with. And I can choose the actual work that I do.
Mhm.
Flexibility and freedom, that is, I can design the work environment for myself with low lights, quiet, except for the occasional New York honking and sirens, whatever, like someone yelling on the street. But for the most part, it's quiet. I set my own hours. I choose my clients.
Mhm.
And finances, like all the money goes to me.
Yes. That's always a win.
Yeah.
That's always a win. And this is another thing that I wanted to bring up to you. Starting your own business is a risk. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of determination. I think you may have gained an ounce of that in your recovery. Would you agree with that?
Just an ounce.
Just
yeah,
an ounce.
Just an ounce. No, I think that same with you, like our resilience and empathy and self-awareness grew exponentially.
Exponentially.
Yeah. And so part of how that serves me is I know where to set my boundaries for work. Again, like work time, work hours, work location, etc. But also, what can I really handle content wise?
Yeah.
Cognition, like paying attention and listening is hard,
Mhm.
um, and bringing that empathy into work and that understanding of like how can someone build resilience when they're struggling so
Mhm.
that they can get out of that struggle.
Yeah,
We've got that experience.
exactly. And I think something that I so learned being on the other end of it is you just want someone to listen to you. You just want to feel validated. You just want to be heard. And what Love Your Brain gave me the first time I attended a retreat in March 2023 is it was finally I'm meeting people who get it. Finally, I finally have people who get it and are living something similar. So that's a large part of what inspired this podcast is I was like, I want people to have something that they hear that maybe just reflects an ounce of what they're going through. So you are doing the exact same thing, hearing people. Difference is that you're offering action steps that are specific to them, but you're doing the same thing, hearing people, but just on a client basis, a one-on-one basis.
Yeah. And from the Love Your Brain programs, one thing that I've taken away from that is holding space.
Mm-hmm.
Like I use my lived experience as a lens, but everyone's different, right?
Everyone's different.
I come in with this understanding, but an openness of like, whatever you're bringing, I will listen to you. I will make you feel seen and heard so that you have that support to take some action, like even small steps, which we call experiments, to like
You call
test.
them experiments.
Me
I love
too.
that.
Yeah. Just to like get a little bit further along. And when you can get that small win or small experiment that goes successfully, then it's just like Lego block of building your confidence.
That's so beautiful. It's a Lego block. And yeah, that is definitely something I've really learned from going through this is the exact same thing. It's that there's a level of empathy and understanding I of course can offer, but also everyone's different. And everyone's story, there's something that I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna understand because something that really bothered and still bothers me over the course of my experience is when, you're talking to someone and they go, "Oh, I get it. I understand." And it's like, especially someone who hasn't had brain injury, I mean, primarily. And it's like, no, you fucking don't.
No, okay, we can drop F-bombs. Great.
Oh, yeah, I curse so much on this
You're like,
podcast.
fuck you all.
Yeah,
No,
fuck
I'm
you.
just
It's
kidding.
like, I understand. I get it. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I forgot someone's name last week. Or that happens to everybody. You're just aging.
Yeah, I'm also tired. It's like,
Yeah, okay.
No, you don't get it. So I definitely have very much learned from going through this entire experience is everyone's their own person. And don't say you understand it if you don't, because you probably don't. You haven't lived their experience. So get that. And I'm happy that you're able to offer people that on a one-on-one basis because they need that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It would have been so helpful to me.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying. Like, if someone would just listen to me, I would feel like, okay, at least some of that emotion can sink in and then I can move forward.
Exactly. That it would have been so helpful to me. And that's like with this podcast, it's like it would have been so helpful to me if I heard someone that like lived something moderately similar when you feel so. Unfortunately, what trauma does is it often makes us feel so isolated in our experiences. And the path to healing does come from community. So I think by offering SGA coaching and consulting, by offering Gabriella Rebranded, we're offering people community and validation. And I don't listen. When people message me, I listen to all their stories. Like people will send me the most incredible things. Listeners message me, I'll read, I will thoughtfully answer. But I do not offer listening on a daily basis, and you're always constantly offering listening. So I'm a little jealous.
What would you like to do about that?
Well, I love Gabriella Rebranded, so we're gonna keep you in Gabriella Rebranded.
And you found your path.
I found my path. Yeah, I found my path, and I think I wouldn't have found it without my injury. So, and I wouldn't have found it without Love Your Brain. Owe them a lot. What do you think your brain injury has offered you that makes you, Stephanie, and SGA coaching the only place that provides this? And what makes SGA coaching different? Because there are a lot of life coaches. What makes SGA coaching different and unique?
I offer my clients that expansive empathy that we talked about. Just to work with somebody who is compassionate and open and lets you be vulnerable has been really successful so far. We've got good feedback that I'm creating a space for them where they feel heard and seen and safe to move forward. And for brain injury clients specifically, I have this lived experience that helps build community and connection.
And they're hearing and learning from someone who survived their own shit and made a career out of it. Because what you're doing now, SGA coaching and consulting, you wouldn't have created it without your injury. And I assume you created it because you felt a little compelled to, like a little called to, like, this is the thing that I have to do. So you kind of feel like you're almost living up to the universe's purpose of what you've been assigned in a weird way.
No, I love that. I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't feel called and compelled because what I'm doing is I'm trading my energy, right? Like my rest time, recovery time, social time, TV time, getting manicures time, like I'm giving that to my clients because I want to help them.
Yeah.
Like I want to offer them hope that change is possible, growth is possible. Because like you said, I've gone through some of it.
Yes.
Not exactly the same.
But I've gone through some of it.
Right. So it's a model for resilience and hope. And I can hold that hope for them when they might not see it for themselves.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to offer that. And believe me, I 100% get that. I'm like, I so often think when I'm like really stressed out about things that are pertaining to Gabriella Rebranded, I'm like, I don't have to be doing this. I'm doing it because I love it. I'm doing it because I love my listeners. I'm doing it because I want to give them all of this. And I wish that I had this. So I think that is something I wish that I had this when I was going through everything. So I think that's something that is so true. It's like you're giving your time that you could be taking for Stephanie. And instead you're giving it to anyone who needs it.
Yeah. I mean, I have some new values
Yes.
post TBI, and one of them is service.
Yes,
Not
I
that I
agree
didn't
with that.
care about helping people before, right?
No, but I agree with that. Service has become so important to me.
Yeah. So I want what I'm doing to be helpful to other people and make an impact on their lives. And yeah, I did that before, but in a different way that was a little bit more corporate. And this feels personal. And like, if I can have that impact on someone, then maybe they've developed enough, they come to a new place where they can pass it on. And if we can be there for each other, and like you give space to listen to people, as do I, and then maybe that person has a little bit more space too, and then everyone's just a little bit nicer and more forward thinking.
Pay it forward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey guys, speaking about people with brain injuries or brain conditions still pursuing careers, I wanted to tell you guys about the book, The Navigator's Letter by Jan Crestandi. Jan is an incredible author who wrote this World War II book, which is a narrative nonfiction book about two airmen and the woman who bound them together. Unfortunately, right before publishing the book, Jan developed a rare neurological condition called Mage syndrome. And as we just talked about, Stephanie and I, unfortunately, our brains, neurological conditions, brain injury symptoms can limit one's capacity. So Jan is having trouble promoting the book, which is where I come in, where we all come in. The Navigator's Letter, narrative nonfiction. It's available on Audible. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. I downloaded it on the iBooks app, if anyone uses that, which I know no one does but me. It's a really exciting book. My dad loves World War II history, so he's loving the book thus far. So the boomers, this is a great book for you guys, but it's a great book for everyone. Support Jan, support Brains, and check out The Navigator's Letter. Thank you guys so much. Bye. I just want to share a happiness that, like, whenever I hear somebody with a brain injury that's created, or any form of a disability, but that has somehow created a business from it and is especially service devoted to somehow paying it forward, it makes me so happy. It makes me so overjoyed. And on behalf of like the disability and brain injury community specifically, I'm like, yeah, we got this. Like when I see someone doing something really cool, I'm like, yeah, we can still do it. So thank you for offering me that piece, because it's just such like a glowing thing that like, yes, another one of us is still out there.
Yeah. I mean, we got to support each other. We got to help each other manage the symptoms that, when they're acute or as they're ongoing, like some of this stuff is lifelong.
Yeah.
So if we're there to support each other, then the next person can keep passing it forward, passing it on, paying it forward.
Keep passing it on, keep paying it forward, which is what everyone, if you take one thing away from this, it's going to be pay it forward. Pay it forward.
Pay it forward, please.
Pay it forward. Yeah. So, one of the things that you offer that I think is so beautiful is you help people, which I mean, all coaches should offer this, but you help people find their strengths. And the reason why I think it's so beautiful is because specifically as you're concerned, you're helping people with disabilities or have lived through such an extreme trauma find their strengths. And you can feel like that trauma, you can initially feel without a perspective reframe that trauma or your disability took away all of your strengths. So how would you say you help people find those strengths?
Definitely, I offer strengths-based coaching.
You offer strength-based coaching?
Yes.
Okay.
It's so important to focus on strengths and positive psychology. It's one of the core tenets of my coaching. Hopefully, more and more people's coaching. Um, but it's the idea that people come to coaching whole, maybe with differing abilities from the next person, but they are fully capable of thinking through their issues, topics, whatever they're bringing to coaching, designing their goals, and the action steps that they want to take towards those goals. So if I hold the belief for them that they're fully capable, somebody's in their corner and supportive, and we focus on the strengths, like not what's wrong with you or what you lost, but more like where are you now? What can you do well? And how do you build on that? It just kind of releases the pressure in a way and a lot of the negativity.
Yeah.
One thing that happened to me as I was like trying to break through all of the symptoms, I noted like I felt like I was really weighed down by all of the pain, struggles, insurance annoyances, judgments. I feel the emotion there. I felt like I had these weights on my shoulders and like I was shackled and I couldn't move forward. And honestly, I don't know, maybe like everybody helping me, like my family support, my friends support, whatever, and some introspection and therapy, a lot of therapy. Finally, I was like able to cut some of these shackles off and take take those weights off. And it was like, I know you work out with a weighted vest.
Me and my weighted vest.
Hey, I mean, it's great. So it was like using that metaphor, like you can do so much more if you had trained with the weighted vest.
Yes.
The next thing feels easier.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was just so much release when I finally was like, all right, this is who I am. I'm going to stop focusing on the negative.
I agree.
These are my strengths. I've always been good at listening to people, giving advice, but I don't do that in coaching. Unless you want me to take off my coaching hat, then I can give you advice. But as a coach, I will support you. But anyway, once I figured out this is the way to go for me, these are my strengths, let's play into that, there was so much released.
So much. Yeah, I agree. That's the exact same thing. Once I stopped focusing on what I didn't have that I wanted to get and started just like, let's focus on what is. Like, what is and like, what can we create with what is? It changed everything. Now, what I wanted to ask you was that SGA coaching, beautiful, fantastic for brain injury survivors and disability survivors going forward. You did not have SGA coaching. So how did you stumble into this without SGA coaching?
Stumble into
finding the strength to create a career, make this thing, go for this thing when you didn't have that. You didn't have someone telling you to do this.
It took a lot of therapy. First, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, vision therapy, vestibular therapy. Should we list them all?
Pronunciation, speech,
yeah, cognitive,
occupational,
yeah,
occupational,
and psychotherapy, talk therapy. Yeah, and I think that was once I reached a physical stable point, then the emotional stuff needed to get released. And that's where I was able to think, this is what I'd like to do. I looked back into like what gives me energy. What do I feel like is going to be a good use of my energy? And that's where like the service comes in, right? Like, okay, what am I going to do with myself and my life? Like I want it to be worth something if I'm going to go back to work. And I want to help other people.
Yeah.
It's simple. It sounds cheesy, but it's still true.
No, it's so true because I think we know too well how it feels to desperately need help. So it's something that we're just called to do going forward, because we know that alone place of just like, I need someone to help me. Like, I just need someone to help me. I don't know what to do. So it's really beautiful that this is what I had a guest, Roman Dumas, great episode. And he turned the grief of losing his son in creating the business that he now has. And in that, which is all about energy healing. And in that, he talked, like how he agrees with me, about how trauma is a blessing in disguise because it opened him up to all these things. And that doesn't change, of course, that you had what you had and that a lot of it fucking sucks. It doesn't change that, but you also are given the opportunity to finally notice all these other things. Do you concur?
I concur. Yes. Thank you for bringing this up. So
Yeah.
in Love Your Brain, one of the things that we
Yes.
talk about is gratitude.
Mhm.
And we also acknowledge that things can suck and we can be thankful for the good pieces.
Yes, I have a whole
Right?
episode about that.
Yeah. So definitely apply that. I wanted my brain injury to be worth something, like
Yeah,
what was the point of this?
that was, I agree.
Like, why did I suffer through so much crap? If it's not going to be helpful, maybe to me, but maybe mostly to other people. What am I going to do with it? Like all that experience. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, like that. I know how lucky I am that I didn't have super major, like all props to you, man. You're just, like your TBI is, I think, way more intense than mine.
Let's not
and
compare.
Let's not compare, but I
yeah.
do that a lot, right? Of
Yeah.
like, I should be grateful, I should be lucky, or I was lucky, blah blah blah.
I mean, I do that a lot too. Yeah.
But I am grateful that I was lucky enough to be able to heal significantly enough.
My mom and I say lucky in an unlucky experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, side note, I've been learning Danish.
Okay.
And they have this phrase, lucky in the unlucky.
Oh,
which is
yeah. They have an entire phrase for that?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me the phrase. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. I'm good. Like, oh my God, I have to try to pronounce this on a podcast, like in public.
You could just type it.
Yeah. Hilio I uhili. But I want to confirm that later. Maybe we'll see. Anyway, side note. Okay. Lucky and the unlucky.
Lucky and the unlucky. They have an entire word for that. I love that. It's terrible. Like this whole process of what we've been through, it's terrible. But reminding yourself to be like, I think what's incredible is, and I talk about this, is that I can still talk. I'm very eloquent. I'm very good at speaking. I mean, I have pronunciation issues, but I'm still good at like the words and the thoughts and everything. I can tell stories. And I'm so lucky in the unlucky that that's a skill I've maintained, because lots of people who have brain injuries, that's many pieces of your brain. So lots of people with brain injuries, this would not be an option for them. It doesn't change how terrible it is what I went through, but I'm so thankful that I am lucky in the unlucky that I've maintained this ability. So, and
Totally.
and you're lucky in the unlucky that you can, one, listen to people, and two, I think anyone who is able to do the perspective reframe we are so lucky for being able to do that, because some people are so beaten down by their trauma that they just can't fathom doing the perspective reframe.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I think most of us have been there where this is just too much. And what is ever going to change? How am I going to make it through? I don't want to say that it was like yoga and meditation and kale smoothies, but it kind of was. I'm sorry.
Meditation is honestly great. It is great. And the whole spiritual vibe is honestly, It really gets you.
Yeah. I have crystals for grounding and
Yeah.
for clarity of thought, which isn't working so well today, but that's okay.
But we have days like that.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the reason why we can be so drawn to that is I had the same thought of you. I was one of the first coherent thoughts I remember having is that this isn't all going to be for nothing. Like something's going to, I will make something come out of this. This is not all going to be for nothing. That is one of the first thoughts that I remember having. So I definitely relate to all that, but I also know the time where I said to my family like 1,001 times that my life had ended on October 17th, 2021. And that it would have been, I said it would have been easier if I had died, because then I wouldn't have had to continue going through life with a brain injury. So I was there. We were there.
I feel that. I mean, it's beautiful that you're able to come out of that. It really is.
So it's beautiful that we're able to come out of that. Yeah.
I mean, I know that I really hurt my family. Like they were very stressed out because this is a weird thing, right? Like, and it's so unknown, and I didn't know what I needed. So how could I tell them what I needed? And the old things that would have helped me are not helping me anymore, and so no one knew what to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were a lot of arguments, a lot of outbursts that I didn't even really know that we've already had this conversation / argument, whatever / outburst. And I'm grateful for them as well, and their patience and their support.
Yep. Believe me, as somebody whose family stood by her through all the outbursts.
Yeah.
Do you see, guys? This is a common thing with TBIs. It's not just me.
Yes. I vouch for this.
It's not just me.
No. So being able to take all of that and use it to support the next person with a brain injury, other disability, going through some trauma or grief, like there's a lot there, and didn't want it to be for nothing.
Didn't want it to be for nothing. And in that sense, like, what a gift we've been given. What a gift we've been given.
Yeah, it's the gift of TBI.
Yes, which you probably gift of TBI, but it is. But in a way,
the gift that keeps on giving.
If you search hard enough, it's there.
Yeah, I think one of the big gifts actually that I've had was to be out of the workforce, to be out of the rat race and see is not just about getting promotions and raises and like the flashy company on the resume. That's what I wanted. But, everything changed for me after this trauma. And it gave me perspective of what is more important. Like, is it about contributing to some random CEO's profits and their bonuses?
Their fourth yacht, yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. I don't even have one yacht. Come on.
I don't even have one yacht.
Yeah. So, the great thing that being out of work and having the TBI afforded me was time to connect with my family. Once I kind of settled down a little bit, of course. I can fly around and support my friends and family, whatever they're going through. I can be there for them. I could take time to be present, support them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, again, preaching to the choir, this accident ultimately, despite all the outbursts, ultimately strengthened my relationship with my family so much. And now what I'm able to provide friends with is, or anyone, family or friends, is just such a listening and empathy that they may not be getting in many other places, because it's the gifts from our TBI. They are there.
I am the gift.
I am the gift.
I am the gift now, okay?
Well, SGA coaching is just one of the gifts, but it's like,
Gabriella
Brendan is the gift, but like your clients must be so thankful for you that finally someone is hearing them. And the only reason why they have you is because of this entire not very fun experience that you had to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about clients having me there for them. And kind of going back to what you were talking about earlier, what we're offering is the gift of listening.
The gift, yes.
It is not something that people get on a regular basis. Like maybe though they heard you say that I want some tea or something, but they're not listening or being listened to. Sorry. They don't have the opportunity to be listened to and really understood. And I think that's what you're providing with your podcast and for your guests, your listeners, and the broader community. And I hope that's what I provide to my clients, like just the profound impact of being heard.
Yeah. It's truly, people just want to be heard. People just want to be heard at the end of the day. So what's next for SGA Coaching?
Oh man. Well, I'm full client roster right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh my God, wait, that's so impressive. You're already full. You just started this.
Okay, well, we also have to consider that my capacity isn't like I'm working 9 to 5.
But still, we've established that, but still, you're already full.
Yeah.
And this just started.
Yeah, like a few months ago.
A few months ago.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're already at full capacity. That's so congratulations. Oh my God.
What's next is you getting on the wait list. Do a chemistry call with me and we'll see if it works out. What else? And then I've just become certified as the Love Your Brain facilitator.
Yes, I saw that on LinkedIn yesterday. I was so excited.
Yeah, me too. So I got to apply and send in a video recording of me leading a meditation. Hopefully they pick me.
So exciting.
I really want to give back to this community that also really helped me. And in June, I'll be speaking at the Brain Injury Association of New York State's annual conference.
I saw that.
Great.
I'm going to be in New York in June. What day is it?
June 10th and 11th.
I can come one of those days. The other day I'm going to a Youngblood concert with my mother, but I can come one of those days.
Oh, yeah, is it June 11th? I'm only speaking on June 11th. Let's find out.
Actually June 10th, but I'll find out.
Okay.
We'll find out.
It's like at 3 p.m.
Yes.
So if you could come and then sneak out.
3 p.m. That's perfect. I would also like to clarify to everyone that this Youngblood concert was not. My mother wanted to go. It's her Mother's Day gift.
Oh, amazing.
She loves him. She wanted to go. And I thought I was getting tickets for her and her college friend, Mary Margaret. But Mary Margaret already had a ticket. So she was like, you'll come with me. And I'm like, okay.
Amazing.
I did not know who Youngblood was until December, when my mom told me his cover of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was mesmerizing.
Wow. Mesmerizing. Okay, gotta check it out.
That was the word she used. She was like, he's mesmerizing.
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
Stamp of approval.
But anyway, before I go see him, we will go see you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Send me the information. I'm there.
Will do.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh, so kismet that I'm going to be in New York at that time.
Amazing.
Well, tell people where to find you. Instagram, Facebook, your website.
Yeah, my Instagram is at SGA Coaching. Website is sgacoaching.co. And you can email me at hello@sgacoaching.co.
Oh my God. So amazing. So exciting. I'm so happy that this episode that was a year in the making finally got to happen. You have been fabulous. As usual, my listeners, hit me up and sign up for my newsletter, GabriellaRebranded.com, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff at Gabriella Rebranded. Subscribe, leave a review, rate. Help me, help Stephanie, help the brain injury community. Thank you so much for sitting down. Is there anything else that you would like to get out there? You're good? You're all good?
I don't know what to say. I went to a Backstreet Boys concert with my mom.
Okay. That's something. All right.
Totally unrelated. But so fun.
My mom's gonna literally she's gonna be mortified that I included that tidbit in the episode, but I have to because it's just hilarious that my mother at over 60 years old is like, I love it.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What a great experience.
And win most, lose some. We lost a lot, but we won more, and our careers won more from our TBIs. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Made happening. Woo!